Due to the long farming nature of Scarlet Spear, my plan was to wait until I had all 50,000 of these credits before doing anything. This is not going to work. I should start with that because it's more expensive and then get that, but I need this. I need this in my life. I need to try this. It has been way too long, and I'm sick of the sentients dropping this and not being able to use it. So 1,500 copper nicks, 800 pustules, a null star, 450 isos, 24 hours. This is one of the other reasons I have to do this now. Just want to see what polarities it has unranked. None. No, wait, there's a V here. Which basically means if there's a V, Serration goes in it. After a weekend of doing this, because I was supposed to be doing other things, and well, other things got in the way of actually finishing this, which gave me more time to play with this, and the longer I played with it, the more I liked this. I will straight off say the alternate fire mode, that lightning, that needs the damage and the range kind of doubled. It's just not big enough. Yes, it will chain between enemies, but not really that many enemies, and its distance, its range is kind of rubbish. That, and for some reason, I noticed when you empty the magazine using the secondary fire mode, it doesn't do the pulse, which it does in primary fire mode. That it's weird. It says when the battery is drained, the weapon will release a pulse that staggers enemies and siphons health from them. So this thing will take health from enemies and give it back to you, which is great, until you realise that it's not doing it on the old fire mode. And that could have just been a bug while I was using it, if I'm being honest. But yeah, the range of that is only 10 meters. If you are surrounded by enemies, it is a lifesaver. If you're not surrounded by enemies, it's not a lifesaver. It's kind of sucky, to be honest, because the magazine of 21 is tiny. The way around this is to kind of stagger your firing. It's an automatic rifle, so don't just hold the trigger and empty the magazine. If it recharges really, really quickly, I mean insanely quickly. So if you kind of stop firing for a second or two, it'll start to reload. So if you kind of pulsate the fire, if you will, this thing basically has unlimited ammo constantly. It's the high fire rate of 12 that empties the magazine really quickly. But if you give it a second or two to reload, because, I mean, that reload of 0.2 is insane. Like, massively insane. It will reload quicker than you can actually press the button again. So you can literally just kind of mash the button and it will take much longer to run out of ammo. And any recoil it has goes away because you are stopping firing and starting again, which makes it much easier to aim and much more effective against enemies. At first, I disliked this thing quite a bit because I was trying the secondary fire mode, the primary fire mode, and just trying to enjoy the weapon. It's inert electrical damage, obviously good against the corpus. Machinery and robotic, I think it's actually listed as. The crit multiplier, everything that I've come across keeps saying it has the highest crit multiplier of all primary weapons. It's 2. I kid you not. It has a 2.0 times crit multiplier. Until you look at the secondary fire mode, that it then turns to a 4.8, yes, but as I mentioned before, the fall off to this is rubbish. Not to mention the fact it has a 2.0% crit chance. 2% crit chance is the same as having 0% crit chance. So it may have a 4.8 times multiplier, but with a 2 times crit chance, kind of useless. The secondary fire mode is based towards status. The primary fire mode, kind of the same. You can add crit to this, it does work pretty well, but yeah, it may have a 4.8 times multiplier, but honestly, this is one of those weapons that really favours heavy caliber. And honestly, serration, heavy caliber, split chamber, past there, what you put on depends upon who you are going up against. I just kind of threw Stormbringer on this, high voltage, increasing the electrical damage, and then threw... oh, forgot the name of it for a second there. Malignant Force on here to change it to corrosive. The other two basically trying to play around with it a bit. I never really settled on a build for this, even though I did end up forming it 3 times. I basically added Blast to this because I was busy playing with that, but the Exilus slot comes pre-formatted to a V, but if you actually look at the V mods, you have movement speed while aiming, accuracy for 9 seconds, and no, that's the same mod. Yeah, they really need to bring out more of these Exilus mods, which is kind of a shame because first impressions of this is it doesn't really deal a massive amount of damage. The secondary fire mode is a massive letdown, but as soon as you go Serration, multi-shot, throw a bit of heavy caliber in there, if you have a Riven that increases the damage again, this thing will become a lot better. I did try it towards the crit side, and it works pretty well. I will probably swap out Blast and add crit to this, but I have to form it again to get those to fit. Because if I remember rightly, I can swap out... I'm trying to remember what I actually have installed on this. Wildfire for Point Strike, but Rhyme Rounds is a 7, Vital Sense is a 9. Either way, Point Strike will take this to a 37.5% crit chance, Vital Sense will take it to a 4.0 times multiplier, which for the secondary fire mode, for those who want to know, it will go to a massive 5% crit chance. That is, yes, 5% crit chance. It's very low on that secondary fire mode, but makes up for it with that crit multiplier. It's 9.6. This thing is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. The melee weapon, I'm still working on that at the moment. I think I have to put another former in that, but yes, the melee weapon, if you have to choose one of these 2 weapons to go for, the melee weapon is better. That's why it costs more. And I'm not kidding, I started swinging that thing while using this and went, okay, which is why this thing took so long to level up, because I kind of took this off and started playing with the melee weapon and then realised, yeah, I've got to finish one before I move on to the other. It's something that you don't do. Finish the weapon you're working on, then start with the other one. But yeah, melee weapon, definitely better than this. But this is not as bad as everybody keeps letting it on to be. At all. It's good, could have been better. But then again, that goes for all weapons in Warframe. So, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.